Hi there, my name's Ross, and today I'm going to do a very short tutorial video on how to do YOLO balls. There's a guy in the chat, Ledoux, I think that's how you pronounce it, Ledoux, who's learning the No Save Corruption Pokemon Blue speedrun. He can do the Spearow minute, but he needs help with doing YOLO balls, so I thought I'd do a very quick explanation on how to do them. A YOLO ball is just inputting or buffering inputs to throw the ball, the Pokeball, as fast as you can. And then it means in manips, whenever you do a manip in Gen 1 that ends in a Pokemon encounter that you want to catch, you'll catch it first time every time if you do the inputs correctly. So I thought I'd quickly show off here how to do it for Spearow, for Ledoux. So I have a save state after me doing the Spearow manip. Level 5 Spearow. I have to say, for the Yoloball to work in this run, you pick Charmander as your main. Charmander has to have the full name, his full name. It doesn't work if you nickname him or make his name shorter. It's to do with how long it takes for the text to print, plus Charmander's cry that allows like the YOLO ball to work. So his full name must be Charmander. So the first part of the manip, or well, the first part of the YOLO ball I should say, is we have to clear this text box. So this text box that appears after Spearow comes on screen, like Wild Spearow appeared, we have to clear this text box within 4 frames. It sounds quite difficult, but it's actually not that bad. So show it up again here. Like the text box prints Wild Spearow appears, and you can press A or B to clear this text box like this, and then you send out your Pokemon, whatever your Pokemon is. For YOLO balls, we have to clear this text box within 4 frames. Now there's multiple ways of doing it. My way might be quite strange compared to others, but there's multiple ways. So I personally, on my pad, I have A and B switched around. So I'm using an Xbox pad that has A on the bottom and then B at the right as the right button. I swap those around, so my B button is my A button and my A button is my B button. If I'm on emulator and I'm using my Xbox pad, that's what I do personally. I prefer it that way, and it helps me do YOLO balls. So I slide, or it might be better actually to show it here. I can pause the emulation. So what I'm looking for is when a certain part of the text appears. So roughly here, or maybe slightly before it. So whenever the second P prints or appears and the word appeared, that's when I start to slide my thumb from the B button across to the A button. And then by the time the text fully prints, I've cleared that text box. Me sliding my thumb from B across to A will clear that text box, and I know by the timing, if I've done it at this point here where the word appear is in the text box, if I do that just as the second P appears and start sliding my thumb, then I know I'll clear the text box within 4 frames. Now that's just something I've practiced over time. To some people that might be really weird. That's just the way I learned to do it. So I'll see if I can get it a bit earlier. Oh, that's a bit too slow. I'll try again. It's very, very difficult to do it this way. Again, it's very hard, but like I just eye it up as I see the text printing across the screen, and I see like the P's starting to appear and the word appeared. That's when I start sliding my thumb from B across to A. I'll do it for real here. And that's how I do it. And I know roughly that I've cleared the text box. Now if I slide wrong, I might miss the text box, or I don't clear it. but that's how I do it. I'm waiting to see the P's. It is very difficult, you have to train yourself to do it. But I slide from B across to A using my thumb on my pad, on my Xbox pad. That was probably late. There's other ways of doing it. You can, some people will hold the B button and then press the A button and try and time the text box that way. So they'll hold like B here, and then as it's scrolling, they'll do that. So Spiro appears, they're holding the B button, and then they're doing that to clear the text box. Some people might do a stagger press, where they do B into A very quickly at the end of the text box. They'll press B and then immediately go into A. It's called a staggered A press. That's another way to do it. I don't like either of these methods personally. Or you can just use the A button and just try and time it yourself. So clear it like just as the little black arrow appears in the text box. Some people do it this way. So at the end of the text box, it shows you the black arrow. Like if you press a button, it'll clear that text box. Some people try and just time a single A press to just before that arrow appears. I find that like very difficult. And I haven't practiced much doing that way at all. I like doing sliding from B to A personally. But like you'll just, over time, practicing it, you'll have to figure out whatever method you like best. But I like to do the slide. Right, we'll go on to the next part. But that's the first part of the Yoloball, is you have to clear this text box within 4 frames. In red glitchless, when you're doing this for Nidoran, I think you get an 8 frame window. But for virtually every other Yoloball, it's 4 frames to clear this text box. And if you don't clear this text box within 4 frames, the Yoloball doesn't work. You'll not catch him first try. Now, sometimes you will just catch it first try because of catch rates and the way the game works, the mechanics. You'll just catch it first try anyway. But that doesn't mean the Yoloball worked, that just means you got lucky and you caught it first catch. But like, if you don't clear this text box correctly, then the Yoloball just won't work. Right, and the next part, I'll see if I can pause it here after I clear this text box. In this next part, we're going to start buffering the menu, buffering into the item menu, and then throw in the Pokeball. The way to do this is you can buffer inputs in Gen 1, like hold buttons in advance, and then the second the game can register inputs, it'll use that input straight away. So we want to buffer going down and going into the item bag, and then throwing the Pokeball. All as fast as possible, like frame perfect inputs, and the way to do that is to buffer the inputs. So after you've cleared the text box, we'll get the next text box which says Go Charmander. And while Go Charmander's coming up, we can start to buffer the inputs then to go into the bag. So the second Go Charmander, this text finishes printing. Like the second, like this, the Go Charmander goes all the way across the text box and stops printing, you can start holding down an A. Like from here, you can start holding down an A. And after this text box clears, just by holding down an A, the game will automatically go straight down to items, and because you're holding A, it'll open the bag straight away. I can show that here. If I go from here and just clear the text box again, and I'll just hold down an A. After Charmander prints, hold A and down. It'll go straight into the bag and straight to Pokeball. So I'll show that again. We clear the text box, within 4 frames. After Charmander stops printing, we hold down an A and the bag will open and you're already on Pokeball. And that's just by buffering inputs. So the second the name finishes printing, the game will take the inputs from your pad if you're holding down an A to go straight to item, to open the bag and to hover over Pokeball. Some people use the cry. When I first started learning Pokemon speedruns and learning Yoloballs, some people are like, oh, when Charmander's cry or whatever Pokemon you have as your front row mon, whenever you start hearing its cry, you can hold down an A. I personally found that not very consistent and confusing, but then I discovered that you can just wait until your name finishes printing, the Pokemon's name finishes printing in the text box, then you can start holding inputs to buffer. So show this again. We find our Pokemon, we clear the text box, after the name finishes printing we hold down an A and it'll go into the bag and hover. Now this is not enough, we need to do one more input to tell the game to throw the Pokeball. And in this case you can do multiple different things. We usually do a direction, and I do left. I do the left input. So I'll come back out. Clear the text box. Get to here. Now this has to be all done in one motion. So at this point, Gold Charmander comes up. It's finished printing across the screen. You can't start holding down an A before the full name prints. If you do that, the game won't take your inputs. It won't buffer your inputs. It'll only start buffering after your Pokemon's name has fully printed in the text box. You can also go by the Pokemon's cry, but I don't find that consistent. A lot of other runners do. I personally don't. I just wait until the name finishes printing in the text box. We start holding down an A, and I would say most runners use the sound cue. So the second you hear the bag open, like we're at this point we're holding down an A, we're waiting for the bag to open, but I don't go by sight, I go by the sound cue. So you hear the bag open, the click sound, it goes click to open the bag. We're holding down an A, we let go of down, you're still holding A, you let go of down, and then I hold left. Or you can just press left, or you can hold left. So the name prints across the text box. We start holding down an A to go into the bag. And then when we hear the click sound, the bag open. Like, I don't do it by sight. You're better off doing it by sound. Well, I believe anyway. You hear the bag click open. You let go of down. You're holding down an A. You let go of down. And you either tap left or hold left. You could also do right. You can do right if you want, but I've always done left. So we're holding down an A. We hear the bag click open. We let go of down. We're still holding A. We let go of down, and then you can either tap or hold like the left direction on the D-pad. And that's the third input that allows you to throw the ball. And if you buffer all of those correctly, you'll automatically instantly go into the bag and throw the ball. And you should get Spearow in the Pokeball first try every time. That's if you've cleared the text box within 4 frames and done all the inputs correctly, you'll catch him every time. And most Gen 1 manips that manip an encounter, that have a path all the way up to an encounter, usually will have a manipped Yoloball for that manip, and it's the same. If your balls are in slot 1, now it's different if your balls are in slot 2. If your balls are in slot 2, which usually happens if you take the PC potion, if you're doing a specific run where you take the PC potion at the start of the game and you don't use it in the rival fight, you didn't need to use it, then your potion will be in slot 1, and when you go to buy the Pokeballs later on, your Pokeballs will be in slot 2. If your Pokeballs are in slot 2, you have to do slightly different inputs. You would hold down an A to open the bag, but instead of letting go of down and tapping left or pressing left, you still keep A and down held down, and then you add B. So you're down in A, you hear the click of the bag open, but you don't let go of down and go to left. You keep down and A held, and then you press the B button. The second you hear the click of the bag open, you add B. You press the B. You can press and hold it, and then that will YOLO ball from the slot 2 in your bag. I would show it here, but I don't have the PC potion. But if your balls are on slot 2, that's what you do instead. But I'll get back to this here now, and I'll try and do the full thing. So I'll unpause. We'll go back to the start. Clear the text box. Hold A and down. Oh, missed it there. Clear text box. A and down. Hear the click of the bag. Press left. And it will instantly throw the ball. And Speedo should get caught 100% of the time if you buffered those inputs correctly and you cleared the text box within 4 frames. Clear text box, hold down an A, hear the click of the bag, and then press left. You're still holding down A, you can tap left or you can hold left. And that's a YOLO ball. You're buffering inputs to throw the ball as fast as the game will allow you. And because that's the YOLO balls are added in by the minute, shoutouts to the minute finders and the minute makers. This allows your ball to catch the minute Pokemon first try every time. So we'll go again. Clear text box. Hold down an A after the print. Hear the click and go to left. I didn't go fast enough there. I didn't do that correctly. So we'll go again. Clear. Down an A after printing name. Hear the click and go to left. And that's what a YOLO ball is. I usually tap it, but I'll try holding it this time. It might be hard because I've trained myself to do YOLO balls like this exact way. I'm holding left this time. Oh, and I missed it. This does take practice. I spent a lot of time on these, and I haven't even done them that recently because I'm not running Gen 1 at the moment. Well, I'm trying to learn Yellow, but they have different YOLO balls. But with enough practice, see, I missed the text box there. It's very easy with the way I do it to miss a text box. And that's it basically. If you have any questions, Ledoux, or anybody else that ends up watching this video and wants to know more about YOLO balls, I'm in the Gen 123 Discord all the time. So I suggest joining it if you haven't, watching this video. If I upload this to YouTube, I will of course put a link in the description to get to the Discord. And I can troubleshoot and help you with any problems you have with it. Like I say, if you don't clear this text box correctly and do all the inputs correctly, they won't get in. Spearow won't get in the ball. But it's just practice. And this is how YOLO balls are done for virtually every minute in Gen 1. Like I say, if you've got balls in slot 2, you hold down an A after printing to open the bag, but then you add B. You keep A and down held down, and then you press B as you hear the click open instead. It doesn't have to be B. You can press the start button. You can press the select button. But most people and most runners, I think, just use the B button. It just has to be a button that's not a direction. So for slot 2, hold down an A until you hear the click of the bag open, and then add B. Just hold B. But it doesn't have to be B. It can be start. It can be select. It just can't be a direction because you're already holding the direction. You're already holding down an A. It's just buffering to the second slot, because your Pokeballs will be there because you took the PC potion and you didn't need it in Rival 1. So you still have the potion, so your balls are in a different location. So you have to do slightly different inputs to buffer that ball instead. But that's how to do basic YOLO balls for Gen 1 speedruns. Like I say, I'll put a description. In the description I'll leave a link to the Gen 123 Discord if I put this on YouTube. You could ask me any questions. There's loads of other far better runners in that Discord server that can give you way more information. This was just a very basic video to go over how they're done and how they work. But I'll go for now. Hopefully this helps you out, my friend, and maybe I'll help other people out in the future as well. But I'm going to go for now. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.